Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to Grid Talk. Today, I'm here joined with Caitlin, and we have got a bunch of questions by the others, and it's going to be a this or that kind of video. And we have to choose if we would rather do the one thing or the other. And we have no idea what these questions are. I just opened it for the first time, so no clue. Shout outs to Jaco and Fem for thinking of these. And I'm kind of scared because I can feel that maybe these could be a bit hard. But I would say let's jump right into it. First question, never go to a race or never meet an F1 driver anymore?
Never go to a race.
Seriously? Okay, wait.
If I could not ever not meet Daniel again,
Okay, yeah. I mean, makes sense.
I would not be okay.
Makes sense for you. I have never met an F1 driver, so I don't have I don't have a, I have that.
I mean, if I've gone 10 years without going to a race yet, I can wait a little longer if it means
Okay. Well, I think I would actually say the other thing. It'd be like, I would much rather not meet any F1 driver in person, but be actually able to watch the races. But I don't know, maybe once I meet someone, I will change my mind completely and be like, no, screw that.
Like if you met Nick, the way I've met Daniel, I think you would change your mind.
Probably.
Oh God.
Hockenheim or Nürburgring?
Or they did you dirty there. They've done you dirty.
What to do?
I mean, part of me wants to say Nürburgring because it holds sentimental value for obvious reasons. But then the other side of me is like, oh, Hockenheim just is iconic. I'm going to say Hockenheim because
Do this.
it has more history and it's just, but then I don't know.
I mean, honestly, let's be real. I think Nürburgring is one of my all-time favorite racetracks, not just in Formula One, but like generally. I think it's a great track. And it has a lot of history as well, like with the whole Niki Lauda accident and the way he survived it. And it's just like, it's very emotional to me, kind of. So I think I would go with Nürburgring. But this question, guys, that's not fair, okay? If you're watching this, no, that's not fair. It concerns Red Bull's second seat. Is it a cursed seat or bad luck? Because Verstappen is too good.
Here's my beef on it. Basically, Red Bull cannot find a driver like Daniel. They just can't. They are screwed without him. They have drivers, obviously, that can fill the seat, but they're not filling the seat as much as Red Bull want them to be because they've got such a high expectation of them because of Max's level and because Daniel was able to push Max and still occasionally get better results than Max.
Yeah.
No one has really got a better result than Max unless he's like DNF'd.
I mean, I think the thing is cursed. I think you need to call an exorcist or just destroy the whole car and build it new because something is definitely wrong with it. I don't know what it is, but it's scary.
I think it's the pressure. I think
Yeah.
no matter what driver you put in there, it's the expectations of being Max's teammate and then living up to what that means in a sense. And then you've got the expectations of the whole team, the fans, Christian, Helmut Marko, the whole Red Bull experience. It's awful. Like, I don't wish that Red Bull seat upon anyone because
No.
it is very big boots to fill, and it doesn't help that Red Bull have been so ruthless either.
V8 or V10 engines? I mean, the V10 engines were in a great era of racing for me personally.
I'm going to say V8. I just think it's the sound.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what I grew up with. Like, that's what I heard. I can't remember what. Dad, what engine's in your car? So
Wow.
my dad has for people who can't hear, or if no one heard that, my dad has a Ford Mustang Bullet, and that's got a V8 engine in.
I want
So
that.
that's why I had to double check. So that is also why I'm choosing a V8 engine.
If you say V8, I would probably say V10, just
Ooh.
because it reminds me of a time of racing that I personally enjoyed, with a bunch of names that I like looking back to. Separate racing series for women, like the W series, or women and men race in the same category.
I mean, the feminist in me would love to say women and men in Formula One. And I think eventually that will happen. Do I think it's going to happen in the next 10 years? You'd need some form of bloody miracle. I wouldn't want a woman to be in there just because she's a woman. That defeats the whole point. She'd need to be in there because she deserves to be in there. I think it will happen eventually, and I think it's good. That's why we have the W series, because it can set them up, and we're not excluding women from the sport. And I think also we have to remember that women's bodies are built different to men's. You know, men gain muscle easier than women. That's not to say women can't. That's not me obviously bashing women. Like, I'd love to compete in Formula One, like obvs, but I have no money. I don't even have my own driving license yet. I mean, I'm there. I'm nearly there. I've passed my theory. I'm waiting for my practical. But anyway, I think it's good that we have women in the lower formula categories. But I think for now, I quite like having them separate, because then that brings more excitement for when a woman finally does get to Formula One on her own merit. Which I think is exciting.
I see things pretty similar to you, actually, but I think ultimately the goal has to be for both women and men to be able to drive in this sport. And I don't think it's impossible. I mean, like you said, we have seen women in like lower formula classes, and I want to see a woman absolutely kick ass. So if she's good enough, she'll be in Formula One, and if not, then she won't. But that's the same with every other human being, except for some certain people who have a lot of money and still drive like Crash Test Rambo himself. But that's another topic. But yeah, ultimately, I think the goal should be for women and men to both drive in the same category without any questions being asked. Carlos Sainz or Fernando Alonso?
Fernando Alonso.
Carlos Sainz.
Ooh, do you know what? I think it's because in our house we used to love Fernando Alonso. Fernando holds a special place in my heart, watching him grow up and, or, you know, watching him whilst I grew up. I'm very sentimental, as everyone can see. I have a big heart and I wear it on my sleeve.
For me personally, I think it's Carlos, because I just relate to him on a humor kind of
guest.
Hi.
Hi.
So I just think like Carlos from the interviews and stuff, I seem like it seems like I like his personality. And Alonso, of course, he's a legend and no one can take that away from him, and I respect that. If I go for like the current grid, I would choose Carlos over him, just because I have so much sympathy for Carlos. The next question is another one where I'm just like, why do you have to do me so dirty? Red Bull Seb domination or Ferrari Michael domination? I'm gonna throw my phone away. Like, honestly, how am I supposed to answer that?
That's disgusting. Like, what are we basing it on? Like, I feel like we need to. Yes, I know.
Exactly.
It's awful,
I agree.
right?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Like, when you think of like a German world champion, who do you think of? I automatically think Michael.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's like, it's two very different times, you know? Like, I mean, Michael was still there, but the time when Michael was big and like legendary, it was a different time to when Zepp stepped onto the scene and became a 4-time world champion. But just from like my heart and my childhood hero, I would have to say Michael, because I worship this person.
I think I'm going to go with Michael. I think that he is just that more little bit iconic, I think. In that sense, like, don't get me wrong, Seb's an amazing guy, an amazing driver, and his championships are like insane. But you just think Michael and Ferrari was just out of this world. Like, that's what you remember as like a world champion.
Team merch or drivers merch?
I mean, they're both just as expensive and they make me just as poor. I think I think I prefer driver's merch because it allows them just to be that little bit more creative. Like with Daniel's merch line, he's got merch based on his helmet. I mean, I'll buy both. Obviously, this is this is me. Although I will say team merch is just that tiny bit more comfortable. But in terms of style, I'm gonna go with driver merch, and in terms of comfy and team wear and being inclusive to an extent, I'm gonna pick team match, but overall driver match for me.
I think I
I
personally,
don't know what you think.
I have more team merch than driver's merch. I think I have one piece of driver's merch, which is the Lando Milk t-shirt that he put out last year, and I got it for
Oh
free.
yeah, Lando has merch, obviously. Oh my god,
But
how
like,
could I forget?
but that's like the only item I have. And apart from that, even like with other teams, like esports teams and stuff, I always buy like their team merch, and not that much their like personal merch. So I think I'm a team merch kind of person, but I couldn't even say why. Probably because I support more than one person and I just want to include all of them. If it was for free, would you rather be in hospitality at testing or paddock club at Monaco?
If it was free, then I'm gonna go with Paddock Club at Monaco because I have done the testing experience. Because I've done that, I'm picking Monaco, but also like think about all the celebrities you could meet in the Paddock Club at Monaco. Like, and it's Monaco on a race weekend. Like, why would you pass that up? I can see why you would want to do testing because it's quieter and you can meet the drivers and more team personnel and it's a little bit more personal. But like you're in Monaco, you could get like hit up. Anything could happen in Monaco. Do you know what I mean?
I personally have dreamt of going to a Monaco GP more because of the atmosphere, because I just feel like there's this crazy atmosphere in the air. And so I would pick that as well. Just because I feel like it's an unforgettable experience, probably. Like, you don't know who you're going to meet. If it's like a normal race weekend, not with COVID and stuff, everyone could be there. Like, literally everyone. It's like, you don't know. Maybe you run into Serena Williams, but maybe it's also Tom Holland. Who knows? Your favorite driver only wins 3 races in the season, or he ends up in P3 for most races. So it's like either 3 wins or all P3s. On a strategic level, let's say he's always P3, but like P1 and 2 switch up every now and then. That would put him very up high in the Drivers' Championship in the end. So I think I would go with that because that would make sure he's up high in the Drivers' Championship in general.
I would personally prefer to see him on like the podium every single race. Whether the effect on that would have on him for just being P3 every single race might do to him worries me.
Yeah, true.
I guess because mine is obviously Daniel. I think not seeing him win a race in so long.
Yeah, sure. Makes sense. Makes sense. But
I think I would like to see him win, but then also podiums are just as sweet as a victory, I suppose, if you're getting them consistently. But then if you're not then winning, what does that then do
true
to the mental game? So I think I'm going to go with 3 wins because it doesn't say that you don't get podiums in the rest of the season.
Okay, that's
true. Is it 3 wins? Is that it? And then
I mean, it says only wins 3 races of the season, but that doesn't mean he can come P2 or P3 as well. That's true. But
exactly, that's what I'm going with.
But let's just say the drivers that I support are mostly younger and not in the sport as long as Daniel was. So getting a constant P3 for them, which puts them in a great position for the Drivers' Championship, is cool. So I will go with that. Hamilton or Verstappen for this year's Drivers' Championship?
I want Verstappen to win, but I think it might be Lewis. I mean, if Max wins, then sick, great. I got what I wanted.
Hamilton winning another championship would mean he's breaking Michael's record. and I'm not ready for that to happen. He deserves it. Lewis Hamilton is
Oh, without a doubt.
insane. He deserves to break that record. But I'm not ready for it yet. And I love Max and Red Bull. So my heart is Verstappen all the way.
I think Lewis will win an eighth and then he'll dip. Whether that's this year or next year, he'll win an eighth and then he'll go.
I mean, he's been talking a lot about staying, even though I personally expected him to maybe call it quits after the season with all the rule changes. But yeah, so much for the this or that challenge that we completed more or less successfully. I think some of these questions were very rude.
They were awful.
but
They were disgustingly awful.
yeah, but honestly, it's cool. They are spicy, and I think it's great to confront my own fears of having to choose between Hockenheim and Nürburgring. I mean, I've been there before. It sucks. Someone always asks that, and I don't know why. I don't know what you guys want me to say, but I'm just like, it's okay. It's done. We've talked about it. Now it's done. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me, Caitlin.
No worries. Thank you for having me.
Of course, always. I hope you guys liked it as well. If you did, feel free to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to share it with your friends and family and neighbors. Don't forget to subscribe and check out the description below. All of our social media links are in there, as well as our Discord, which you're free to join. So come and join the party. We're doing fun stuff, also playing some games sometimes. So totally worth it. And apart from that, have a great week. And we will see you next Wednesday with another crazy challenge kind of video. And nobody knows yet what it's going to be. So that's going to be an exciting one. Check it out. Bye.